Today in this session we are going to learn one of the most important principles of organization, that is supervision. The objective of this unit are: this unit explains the supervision in organizations. After going through this unit, you will be able to define the importance of supervision, describe the purpose and phases of supervision, and identify the qualities and human aspect of supervision. Now coming to introduction. Organization consists of a complex network of interrelationships between different individuals working at different levels in various capacities. The work of these individuals has to be properly coordinated so that there would be no discrepancy in the objectives of the organization and the activities for their achievement. The function of coordinating entails many functions. One, which is to ensure that the individual work with a sense of direction, commitment and common understanding. This function of overseeing the work of subordinates in an organization is called supervision. Every organization, public or private, provides for supervision as one of its most important tasks. Moreover, supervision is inherent in the hierarchical nature of organizations, each level of which supervises the one below it and is in turn supervised by the one above it. Now, let us see what are the definitions of supervision. Some of the important definitions of supervision are given by Henry Reining. Supervision may be defined as the direction accompanied by authority of the work of others. According to Terry and Franklin, supervision means guiding and directing the efforts of the employees and the other resources to accomplish stated work outputs. According to William, supervision is a process by which the workers are helped by a designated staff member to learn according to their needs, to make the best use of their knowledge and skills and to improve their abilities so that they do their jobs more effectively and with increase in satisfaction to themselves and the agency. G.R. Terry said that supervision is the achieving or desired result by means of the intelligent utilization of human talents and facilitating resources in a manner that provides the greatest challenge and interest to human talents. According to Halte, supervision is selecting the right person for each job, arising in each person an interest in his work and teaching him how to do it, measuring and rating performance to be sure that teaching has been fully effective, administrating correction where there is found necessary and transfer it to more suitable work, or dismissing those for whom this proves ineffective, commending wherever praise is merited and rewarded for good work, and finally fitting each person harmoniously into their working group, all done fairly, patiently and tactfully, so that each person is caused to do his work skillfully, accurately, intelligently and completely. Based on the analysis of above definitions, we can conclude that supervision is overseeing employees at work, intelligent utilization of human talents, motivating employees to peak performance, maintenance of good human relations. Now, look into the purpose of supervision. Supervision has two main purposes. One is coordination among the different parts of the organization. Second, ensuring that each part of the organization performs exactly the same task as is assigned to it under the work plan. Who are supervisors? All persons in authority who control the work of others are supervisors, irrespective of their high or low status in the hierarchy. Supervisors generally perform both the responsibility and the work jobs through their main function is of the former type. Supervisors are of two kinds, line and functional. The line supervisors refer to the control exercised by the person in line of command. For example, in the police department of a state in India, the Inspector General supervises the district superintendent of police, who in turn control the inspectors and so on, till we come to the head constable, who is the first line supervisor, while line supervision is of direct and commanding type. The functional supervision is a staff function and influence rather than commands. Duties of a supervisor. A supervisor is expected to perform the following duties. First, to understand the duties and responsibilities of his own position. Second, to explain the execution of the work. Third, to divide the work among the subordinates. Fourth, to train the subordinate in their respective fields of work. Fifth, to evaluate and monitor the performance of the employees. Sixth, to correct mistakes and solve the problems of the employees. 7. To keep the subordinates informed about the policies and the changes to be made. 8. To cooperate with the colleagues and seek advice and assistance when needed. 9. To deal with the suggestions and complaints of the subordinates. Now, let us look into the types of supervision. The following types of supervision can be identified. First, substantive and technical supervision. Millett has distinguished between substantive supervision and technical supervision. Substantive supervision is concerned with the work done by an agency, and technical supervision deals with the methods by which the work is done. Second, singular and plural supervision. Henry Fayol, Luther Gulick and other classical thinkers have advocated singular supervision, duly observing the principles of unity of command. On the other hand, F.W. Taylor and his associates have advocated plural or multiple supervision. Third, line and staff supervision. Supervisors may also be distinguished into line and staff. Line supervisory control the subordinates in the line of command, while staff or functional supervisor control the technical aspect of the job. Now, what are the phases of supervision? There are three phases a supervisor's job, that is substantive, second institutional, and third personal. Now, what is substantive aspect? The substantive part of the supervisor's work consists in knowing the techniques, the know-how of the work. He has to plan to work, set standard of quality and quantity of work to be expected, and make specific assignment of duties. But while he must know the work, it is not necessary that he should be an expert in the field. As we ascend higher and higher on the hierarchical ladder, we need in the supervisor lesser and lesser technical skill and more broad vision and general understanding of the program and objectives of the agency. Second one, institutional aspect. This aspect of a supervisor's job involves a knowledge of policies, procedures and practices of his agency. In matters of personnel and procedure, he has a great responsibility. He is responsible for an assignment of duties for attendance, punctuality and personal conduct of the personnel in his agency, and for the conservation of equipment and supplies. Third one, personal aspect. This is by far the most important aspect of the supervisor's job. No doubt, the supervisor has authority to get work from his employees, but work, more particularly in public welfare agencies, cannot be taken by the use of authority alone. To get good work from the workers, enthusiasm and interest in the work has to be created. In order to let authority arise from within the organization, a supervisor must be a master of the art of human relationship. Now, what are the techniques of supervision? According to John D. Millett, there are 6 techniques of supervision. First, prior approval. This is a common way of exercising control by the superior over the subordinate units. The top authorities lay down organizational objectives in broad terms, leaving the details of the individual projects to be finalized later. In India, the prior approval of the departmental head is not enough. In addition, the finance ministry or the department has also to give its approval. This arrangement not only ensures detailed control, but also provides the much needed flexibility to change the general plans through making changes in the project. Service standard. The second technique of supervision is for the top management to lay down targets or standards for the operating units to achieve. This in addition to furnishing guide points, audits their performance. Service standards thus set up norms of administrative output. Third, work budget. Budget is much more than statistics. It is plan of work and is a powerful instrument of control over administration. The operating units thus work within the budgetary allotment and are not free to spend money as and when they like. Fourth, approval of personnel. No agency of government is completely free to recruit its staff. The superior staff is invariably appointed by the chief executive. Even in the case of the subordinate personnel, the top management usually insists on its prior approval for all posts except the insignificant ones. In fact, this work is often entrusted to the central personnel department of the agency concerned. Fifth, reports. It is a standard practice in administration that the operating unit should submit an account of the activities to the central office. Such reports may be periodical, weekly, fortnightly, monthly, quarterly, half-yearly or annual. Sixth, inspection. Inspection of some kind or the other has kept an internal part of public administration for as many centuries as government has emerged as an organized unit. In general, the purpose of inspection are to see that the existing rules, regulations and procedures are observed, a sort of performance audited, instructing and guiding the person working in the organization, improvement of efficiency. Inspections are carried out in many ways. In the first place, the head of an agency himself is responsible for the inspection of offices and establishment under him. In other words, each superior is expected to inspect the work of his subordinates. This may be called a built-in system of inspection. Secondly, the administrative agency of the next higher has also a duty to inspect the working of officers under it. The third system of inspection is to set up an external, separate and independent agency within the government charged solely with inspection work. To the above list of techniques may be added a few more, namely work plan, written procedures or manuals, written and oral instructions, staff meeting and administrative follow-up. Now, what are the qualities required for effective supervisor? Supervision requires good supervisors. Some believe that supervisors are born, not made. Such people emphasize the inborn qualities of supervisors, but these qualities confine to personal qualities like attractive personality, good health, high intelligence, perseverance and loyalty to the organization. But in addition to this personal traits, there are certain qualities which a person must acquire to become a good supervisor. Thus, a good supervisor can have both personal and acquired traits. Robert Kahn has classified the skill required by supervisor into 3 categories: human skill, technical skill and conceptual skills. Professor Pfiffner has advanced the following traits as the chief requirement of a good supervisor. First, command of job content, the know-how of work. Second, personal qualification such as the ability to cooperate, to attract others, to motivate and unite others to work. Teaching ability, by which he means the ability to keep oneself perpetually at the process of self-education, to lead in conferences and to teach group of workers. Fourth, general outlook, that is, he must love his job, courage and fortitude. These qualities will give him the stamina to take action decisively. Sixth one, ethical and moral consideration. High moral standard in the supervisor sets a good example for the employees. Seventh, administrative technology. By this, he emphasizes the supervisor's ability to organize and coordinate. 8. Curiosity and intellectual ability. An inquisitive mind goes a long way in making a leader. It is therefore essential for a supervisor to have a fertile and inquisitive mind, so that he may be capable of grasping a situation well in time and take prompt action to meet it. According to Halsey, there must be an adequate and reasonably well balanced development of the following 6 qualities in a supervisor. Thoroughness. A supervisor should collect all information relevant to the issue and take care of every necessary detail. Second, fairness. It includes a sense of justice, consideration and truthfulness towards workers. Third, initiative. It is a combination of the 3 qualities of courage, self-confidence and decisiveness. Fourth, tact. It is the ability to win the loyalty and support of others by saying and doing those things which give them a feeling that they are playing an important part in whatever is being done. Fifth, enthusiasm. It is an intense and eager interest in and devotion to a cause, a pursuit or an ideal. It includes interest, knowledge and achievement. Sixth, emotional control. It means not the elimination of emotion, but rather to control and channel them in right direction. Now, human aspects of supervision. The quality which is perhaps most necessary is the human relation aspect of supervision. The success of a supervisor more often than not depends on his personal relation with employees. Taken as individuals, it has been rightly said that the pattern of leadership desirable in supervisory position is based upon behavior that emphasizes cooperation, participation, consultation and satisfaction for the egos of the rank and the file. Though the strong leader may have to subdue his natural desire for self-assertion and self-display. The Harvard group, that is Elton Mayo, Western Electric Research Finding and the Michigan Rensis Likert studies have proved employees can be most effectively motivated by people-centered and democratic leadership aided by favorable institutional environment. Studies by the Institute for Social Research of the University of Michigan have suggested the following conclusion. First, there is a relationship between the closeness of supervision and the level of output by the workers, the latter being an inverse ratio to the former. In the other words, the workers tend to produce more under less exacting supervision, that is to say, the crack of the whip is not effective as it is made out to be. Second, a supervisor treats his subordinates in the way in which he is treated by his superiors. Third, wherever superiors are employee-centered, the output of the employees is more than where the supervisors are production-centered. Fourth, supervisors of highly productive groups spend more time on and devote more attention to supervisory duties and less time and attention to direct production work than supervisors of groups with low output. In other words, a successful manager devotes more attention to responsibility job than to work job. Fifth, participative management tends to greater production. Supervisors who encourage group participation in common tasks and adopt a helpful rather than primitive attitude towards the delinquent worker belong to high production category. 6. Successful supervisors usually train the personnel for job advancement even at the risk of losing their services. What are the developing supervisory skills? The above discussion indicates that a supervisor requires a large number of skills. These skills may be inculcated by conducting suitable training programs. There are 3 essential ingredients of a supervisory training program. They are job instruction training. Job instruction training is how to instruct a worker to do a job. This requires not only a technical competence in job performance, but also ability to train others in the skill. Second, job method training. This is the second ingredient of the supervisory training program. The supervisor trainee should be trained in the techniques of laying out methods and improve work processes. Third, job relation training. The third ingredient of a supervisory training program is the ability to deal personally with workers. This requires leadership traits and knowledge of human relations. Now, summing up, supervision is one of the most important tasks of the management, and no organization can work without the provision of supervision at the different level of administration. Supervision implies guiding and directing the subordinate employees for the attainment of desired ends. To exercise supervision, there is a need of a good supervisor. He should be well trained and conversant with the job, fair in dealing, honest, courageous, pursuant, tactful and understanding. First one, who are supervisors? What are his duties? Second one, what are the techniques of supervision? Third one, what are the types of supervision?